Let's talk about reading and writing and technology. It's hard to look at reading and writing by themselves because they are such necessary components in projects and other collaborative work. But let's try to focus just on reading and writing for a short time. One advantage of using grammar software and other drill and repeat software is that it can work like a tutor for students. However, if you sit all the students at a computer and have all of them do Unit 2, Lesson 4, then you lose out on the ability the software has to meet the needs of individual students. You may want to have some of those days where they are reinforcing topics they learned in the classroom and they're all working on the same thing. But I would encourage you to also consider customizing plans that will meet the individualized needs of your students. Then once you have created a plan for them, they can usually follow that plan by themselves on the computer. For adults, you can let them help create their plan based upon their perceived needs, and then just add a few touches where you feel a need for additional work. It's important to treat software like a supplemental textbook. With a supplemental textbook, you don't go through every lesson of each chapter. You pick and choose what will enhance your regular classroom curriculum. You should do the same with software. In addition, it is usually beneficial to create handouts or questionnaires that students fill out either individually or with groups while working on software. Besides software that deals with grammar and reading skills, the internet itself can be useful. Internet reading activities need to be carefully constructed so that students don't get overwhelmed. The amount of text on the page, the level of the language used, and how the text and graphics are arranged on the page need to be considered when making your internet task. There is so much available on the internet that students are likely to find reading that is more interesting and relevant to them than always using a textbook. Another advantage is that individual taste and skill levels can be accommodated through the web more easily than through a textbook. Reading is one of those most important skills any person can have. Research indicates that the best way to learn to read is by doing it. Some students hate to read, but they should be encouraged to read regardless. Finding fun, interesting, and relevant reading on the internet can make the difference between success in education for these students and failure. There's something known as the Matthew effect regarding reading. It comes from a verse in the Bible that says those who have a lot will receive more, and those with nothing will have even that taken away from them. In this case, it relates to reading because we know that those who read a lot have an easier time reading. Therefore, they enjoy reading, and they keep reading more and more, so they get better and better at reading. On the other hand, those who read a little have a more difficult time reading. Therefore, they dislike reading, and they avoid reading as much as possible, so they get worse and worse at reading.